Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4. If you can believe it, you're just about halfway through this course. I personally believe the time is going quickly. Maybe you're feeling it as well, as I know this upcoming week is a busy week, not only for this course, but I'm understanding your practicum. There's some things that are due for a symposium coming up. So you've got a lot going on right now, and I want to encourage you. You can do it. It is a managing of time, it is a balancing of things, but this hard work will lead you to that administrative credential and see future steps in your path in education. So let me just encourage you. You can do all things through Christ. So now let's take a look at what week 4 is all about. We're going to look at local control and a change of fiscal landscape. Really looking at the history of where things have been. You're going to read about it in your text. Then we're going to look at some budgeting programs, different ways to create a budget, and then also get into a discussion on those two different components or programs of budgeting in the discussion board. So let's break it down just a little bit more. So this week you're going to read chapter 7 and 8 in your school finance. Make sure that you're just working on those self-tests and vocabulary on the CD or the web access if you're using the newer text. Besides that, though, you're going to see there's 4 components here. So I sort of want to walk you through these components. The first one, the zero-based budgeting, is going to take you to a website that really is an article to read about zero-based budgeting, and a description of the plan is, I'm sorry, I erred there. Here's the zero-based budget in the United States. So this is a plan that really looks at every year starting at 0 in every object area of your budget and really breaking down, does that budget need money allocated to it or not? And here's some philosophy and reasons why as you read through this. So you will want to read this. It'll be part of your discussion board. With that, the next thing is it takes you, your next link is standardized account code structures, or the SACS. Every school budget is broken down into account codes, and those account codes actually are following different expectations, whether it's ed code, federal code, how accounts are broken down. So that way in an audit situation, certain accounts can be identified as spending in that particular category. So with that, you get to this page, you notice it's a bunch of different links. I'm really going to tell you where I would suggest you looking is right here under the SACS resource spreadsheet. It'll bring up, and forgive me, this is going to be small, but it'll bring up a listing of the master list of all the account codes. You again can extend this just to get a view at the different categories that accounts break through. The other thing here that I would look at is the frequently asked questions, so you can just get a sense of why people are doing those. So again, it's peruse, but just know that that's there. The next piece from there comes from the National Center for Educational Statistics. It's data tools, really looking at the breakdown of education, and each of these different areas will give you a breakdown of demographics, assessment, some budget as well, but you'll notice these different tools will take you and you can do a lot of different comparison. So the reason for that is just being reflective. If you start zero-based or program-based budgeting, this will bring it up. And then the last reading component for this week is the essentials of the planning, programming, budget system. Please notice here it is really a PDF file that's going to bring up an oldie but a goodie. This article right here, entitled again, The Essentials of Planning, Programming, Budgeting Systems. You'll notice this is from '69, so this program has been in existence for a while, but this will discuss looking at how to budget, looking at certain programs, not maybe starting back at a 0, but a different way to look at how do you allocate for your budget, not just zeros everywhere. So you definitely want to read this and then that zero-based budgeting, because that will, if we keep going through, connect through with your discussion board for the week. You're going to give a compare and contrast of the zero-based budgeting and the planning program-based budgets, looking at pros and cons of each of them. So you definitely will want to take those 2 resources that are provided for reading. I jumped over it, but there's a learning module as well, looking at the local control formula funding. More conversation about that for sure. A reminder as always, please take the time to look at Proverbs 24/7 and really just reflect. How does God want to speak to you through these words this week? Again, always optional, but a suggested one. So that planning ahead, next week is week 5. That will be our collaborative group presentations. The vote was that we're all going to come together. So next Wednesday, February the 6th, we'll be meeting at 6:30 together for all groups to give their presentation. So please put that on your calendar that time. Be there or be square. Seriously, be there or lose some points and will affect grade. So let me encourage you. Be there at 6:30 next Wednesday, February the 6th. And then this last thing here, you're going to see that there's a submit assignment for number 2, the compare and the contrast of the LCFF and basic aid. I did send out an announcement stating that I know it's a crazy week with a couple other things that are going on in your admin studies, that this due date of today, I'm sorry, not today, this week, getting to that Sunday due date can be changed. If you are needing the time this weekend to really meet with your collaborative group on top of the symposium, take that time. Know that this can be turned in the 10th or the 17th as well. No points will be deducted for being late, even though it might look late. Know that I just want to give you flexibility. Again, my reminder, turn to God for your strength, but you can do all things, even when it feels difficult. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys in your presentations next week. Sort of will be random number assigned for the groups and what order we'll go in, and we'll talk about that when we come together. This week it's going to be interesting to try and think about that way to budget, looking at zero-based program specific planning. As always, give me a call, a text, or an email if you have any questions. Have a great week. God bless.